everybody, my name is Kayla. I am a biblical naturopathic doctor. If this is your first time joining us on my video, and this is my co-host, Ellie. And I'm trying to keep her away from the screen because she's going to make my face all shadowy, aren't you? I am a biblical naturopathic doctor, and if you're wondering what that means, you can check out the very first video that I ever posted. It should tell you everything. Normally my husband Christian joins me on my videos, and today we have Ellie just keeping my life interesting and entertaining. So today I wanted to talk about constipation and pregnancy, which is not maybe a very comfortable topic and something that people don't really want to talk about, but that's why it's so much more important to have it on a video, and that way you can learn about what to do in the privacy of your own home and not have to ask anybody about it. And constipation in pregnancy is so common just because, especially later on in pregnancy, as everything just gets bigger and your stomach and your intestines and everything just get kind of like crammed in around baby. And so it's understandable everything just moves slower because of that and because of all of the hormones and things that are going on. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about necessarily. It's very common. And the food choices that you make, of course, are really going to affect constipation and just how your digestion moves. But even if you are eating all the right things, you could still be having a little bit more of a challenging time, especially later on in pregnancy. And one thing that I found so helpful, sorry, she's just moving around. Yes, you found the plug, didn't you? Thank you. Something that I found really helpful was a abdominal massage, and that really helped. Even though I was eating all of the right things, there were still sometimes where things were just not quite moving the way that I wanted them to be. So I wanted to create a video to show you exactly how to do this, because I've given this advice to people kind of like in writing or tried to describe it verbally, and it's just very challenging. So it's so much easier, thank you, to be able to direct them to this video to say, here, follow this massage pattern and it should help with your constipation. So besides this massage though, of course, this is just to supplement everything. It shouldn't be like the only thing that you do for constipation. The very first things that I would recommend are making sure you're getting lots of fluids, because being dehydrated can really slow things down and make things a lot harder, and physically harder to push, and also just harder, you know, your poop gets harder when it's not as hydrated. Sorry to be TMI. And the next thing that is really important is focusing on foods that have lots of fiber. And this is more than just taking like fiber pills. You really want to be getting good nutritional whole foods that have fiber in them, partly because of the fiber, but also because those foods are going to have so much nutrition in them that your body and that your baby needs anyway. So foods that are higher in fiber are going to be lots of fruits and vegetables and whole grains. If you're doing like white bread or white tortillas or white rice, it's not going to have as much fiber as brown rice and whole wheat and whole grains and other kinds of whole gluten-free grains if you're like me and you don't eat wheat. And trying to stay away from the very processed foods, because as things get processed, they lose a lot of the fiber and a lot of that helpful content. So if you've tried both fluids and fiber and you've tried this constipation massage and it's still not, you're still not where you want to be at, you can also supplement with some magnesium citrate. Some people find that very helpful, or ginger tea, or some of those other spices that are going to help with digestion and with moving things along. Of course, before you supplement with anything, please check with your care provider. Consult with a naturopathic doctor like myself or somebody else that can really advise you on the dosage and whether or not any supplements are going to be interacting with any medications that you're taking or just pregnancy in general. There are even some spices that are not safe beyond just culinary amounts while you're pregnant. So please be on the cautious side while you're supplementing and focus most importantly on fluids and fiber, and also this massage that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So I'm going to come up so that you can see my stomach area. And of course, if you can imagine that my stomach would be much bigger if I was especially in like the later stages of pregnancy. And this is especially important because you want to be massaging around the baby. You don't really want to be massaging where baby is unless you're like a trained midwife or somebody that knows exactly how to massage around where baby is without possibly hurting baby. And so you really just want to follow the path of your large intestine, which is where things tend to get pretty backed up because they go through your small intestine and then they go through your large intestine and then to your colon and out the other end, you know. An easy way to think of where your large intestine is you can find your right hip bone and start here, and it's going to go up towards your right side of your rib cage. Yeah, yours is there too. And it's going to go over to your left rib cage right there, and then down towards your right hip bone. So you're basically like, if my stomach was big, you would basically be massaging around baby. Okay, so you want to make kind of like this, a triangle shape, like this, and to be pushing as you go around in kind of a circle, kind of like a horseshoe shape. And you don't want to be necessarily like deep tissue massage pushing, but just like a moderate amount of pressure. You don't want to go too light because otherwise you're really not doing that much. But just like a kind of gently but firmly around, and it doesn't have to be like one big sweep. You can even go like little bits at a time, going around and around and around and around. You might feel a little bit of pinching on certain spots, like if there's stuff that's just really built up there, maybe it's creating some sensitivity in your skin and everything. That's okay. I mean, don't like dig into it necessarily, but just kind of keep massaging it gently but firmly until you start to feel less sensitivity and less pressure building up there. Yes. So that's it. Those are my top pregnancy constipation tips. And to be honest, like these work whether you're pregnant or not. If you have anybody else in your household that is suffering from constipation, or even like postpartum constipation too. I know especially like the first few days, a lot of women, especially if you had an epidural, I hear this from lots of women. I don't know from personal experience, but I hear that a lot. Yes. Are you enjoying your cracker? I hear this from lots of women that like, oh, I was so scared or so nervous to push the first time. The first time I was on the toilet, and I get it. It's even without an epidural, I was still a little bit like, I don't want to push too hard, you know. So it's understandable if you want to just give yourself a little massage, be focusing on the fluids and the fiber, possibly magnesium citrate or some other things if that is necessary and safe for you. If you have any other questions about this, please feel free to leave a comment below, or if you have any thoughts that you want to share, maybe some other things that have helped you with constipation while you were pregnant that all of the other viewers can benefit from. And before you go, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can keep getting more health tips for pregnancy and postpartum health and nutrition and all those things. I've also included a link in the description box for my pregnancy nutrition course. If you are pregnant and would find that helpful for your pregnancy journey, I include also health on postpartum and breastfeeding nutrition as well. So it's a really great comprehensive health information for you for all of your pregnancy nutrition needs, as well as my website and Instagram and all of those great things. So I will see you next time. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for having a little grace for my toddler joining me in this video today. So see you next time.